In Marvel's Avengers, you'll be squadding up with iconic heroes, and, well, it's a lot to live up to, so here are a bunch of tips and tricks to 5-star every mission, get the best gear and loot, and uncover every secret. Lock on to your enemies. Press R3 or the right stick to lock on. The game will eventually tell you this, but much later than you would expect. When you lock on and switch to your range attack, you'll also automatically place your reticule right on top of your target. Scan the area. Tap up on the D-pad to quickly see what's breakable and interactable in the environment. Use environmental explosives to your advantage and find hidden switches to open treasure caches. Aim for 5 stars. Each objective in a mission will be graded on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, and you lose a star for every time a hero is downed. You get better rewards when you get all 5 stars, so try your best not to go down. Target turrets first. They are incredibly deadly if left alone, and are almost always much easier to kill than most enemies. Keep an eye out for dreadbots. They attack from 4 sides by shooting flames out of exhaust vents. When on the offensive, take down their armed weapons individually to make the fight easier. Master your dodge. If you time your dodge right, dodging at the last possible second, time will slow down for just a second or two. Use this to gain the upper hand against your enemies. Look for the circle animation that appears in melee combat, telegraphing an enemy attack. Practice your parry. Dodging works great for those unblockable red attacks, but when areas are crowded with enemies, dodging won't solve your problems. Use the right trigger to parry right before an enemy attack. Do harm challenges. Speaking of practice, use those harm challenge rooms to practice your new skills and abilities. These are wave-based arena combat simulations where there's no penalty for failing, although you will have to restart the challenge on the first wave. Watch out for ranged attacks. Keep an eye out for the exclamation point and missile markers that appear when you're in danger. Missiles can often be parried by activating your R2 ability right before they land, and those markers will help let you know when you have to time your button press. Get some combos going to fill up the meter under an enemy's health bar. This will let you perform a takedown to do some major damage. Takedowns are also one of the best ways to restore willpower, which is your life bar, so they're especially important. If a mission is particularly difficult, consider trying it out with a different hero. Sometimes the difficulty comes from trying to play the Hulk in a tight space when someone like Black Widow might be more effective. Conserve your intrinsic ability. Characters like Hulk, Thor, and Ms. Marvel gain buffs by holding R2 to activate their intrinsic ability. Make sure that you time your R2 press so that you only activate it when your attack is about to land. This is especially important for heavy attacks because otherwise you'll waste a ton of energy during their lengthy startup animations. Focus on the objective. You do not need to kill every enemy in an area before completing an objective. Whether it's interacting with a computer or destroying a server, get the job done and the enemies sent to stop you will just disappear. Adjust the difficulty, if needed. You can always head back to the war table and just drop the difficulty down. There are no penalties for doing this, but remember that higher difficulty means more loot. Remember to boost. One of the most important parts of gear management in Avengers is boosting your equipment to raise your power level. The more rare your gear, the more it can be boosted. You'll often have to make a judgment call with regards to whether it's worth holding onto a lower power gear that can be boosted only so far versus swapping it out for a higher power gear with weaker perks. Scrap gear you don't need. Don't ever feel overly attached to gear, as you only have 9 slots of inventory space on each piece of gear. Dismantle the ones that are obsolete and use the resources gained to further boost your currently equipped gear. Consider mission modifiers. When hovering over a mission on the war table, press the right trigger. These will show you the mission's modifiers. Build your character's gear loadout based on these modifiers. For example, if the modifier is Blizzard, which means you'll most likely face cryo damage from enemies and the environment, see if you can equip gear that counters those effects. Get your faction rewards. Periodically, head back to both the Anthill and the Helicarrier to talk to the faction NPCs to either collect rewards from the daily assignments or pick up new ones. Solve Hexagon puzzles. If there's a side objective behind a door you can't open, look for rectangular machines with a large hexagon on the front of them. The door will likely have 2 to 4 yellow lights on it. Each light corresponds to a hexagon. Punch these hexagons quickly to turn every yellow light blue to get the door to open. Flying characters are key. In terms of traversal, Iron Man and Thor are the best. They can fly to virtually anywhere, making it easy to get loot. Rack up resources. Resources collected during a mission are permanent, meaning that if you quit the mission, you'll still get the resources you collected prior to quitting. Replay drop zones and war zones. These are side missions, and while the main objectives generally remain the same, random chests and resources vary between different runs. Be on the lookout for shield caches. Sometimes when you're traveling through a war zone, you may notice a radar pop up. Follow the radar to lead you to a secret cache that will unlock a special vault mission that offers a ton of great loot. For more on Marvel's Avengers, be sure to check out the first 19 minutes of gameplay. And for everything else, you're already in the right place, IGN.